Hi, today I want to talk to you a little more about what I started talking on my last video. We were talking about three things that are important. One is alignment, one is positioning, and one is timing. But I want to go into the alignment a little bit more and give you some more scriptures to think about on that. We were talking about how important alignment is, that we need to be aligned with God and the people that He would have us aligned with. So I want to just discuss a couple of scriptures. One of them is the story of Elijah with the 450 prophets of Baal. And Elijah kind of made a challenge to the prophets of Baal. And he said to the people, "How long halt you between two opinions? If the Lord be God, follow him. But if Baal, then follow him." And the people answered him not a word. What he was saying is, don't falter, don't hesitate, don't halt between different opinions. Either God's God or Baal's God, and we're going to find out. So what he did is he challenged them to take and pick one of the two bulls, whichever one they wanted, and to go ahead and lay it out. And he said to the people, whatever one God answers by fire, that will be God. So the people said, that's a good thing. They were in agreement with that. So the prophets of Baal, they laid out their bull, and they called on their god Baal, and they called on him all day long, and up until the evening sacrifice, nothing happened. Elijah was a man of boldness. He believed God. He knew his God was the only God. And so he did not hesitate to even mock them. When they're crying out to their god Baal and he's not answering, they go to what they're used to. So they start cutting themselves. They start screaming and hollering and doing all these things to try to get the attention of their God. But nothing happened. So the time of the evening sacrifice comes. Elijah, it says, lay out the bull, and not only that, but he was so confident in God that he told them, he said, pour 4 pots of water on. And so they poured it all over the sacrifice. He had them dig a trench around it. So they're pouring all this water on top of the sacrifice to make it a little harder, to just really show who God was. And it told them to do this. And then he tells them to do it a second time with the water, and then a third time with the water. So in the end, there's like 12 big things of water, and the water fills the trenches. And then he calls on God. And if you know the story, this is in First Kings chapter 18. If you want to watch it, you're gonna see in that story that God is the one that answered by fire. Elijah's God is the one that answered by fire. That's the same God that we serve. So I want you to think about that with the alignment. Elijah was aligned with the right God, and these other people were not. One other thing I want to mention, it's in 1 Corinthians 15:33, and it talks about evil communications corrupt good morals. That can also be said, bad company corrupts good morals. We become like who we hang out with. So this is another thing to consider on alignments. We need to make sure that the people that we're spending time with are people that are also aligned with God, so that we can be in proper alignment, proper agreement. There's power in agreement. There's power in being aligned with people that are going to encourage you to serve God, to love God, to do the right things. So when we're talking about alignment, we need to be aligned with the one true God, and we need to align ourselves with people who are also seeking to be aligned with God.